Testing. Hi, everyone. My name's Nikki Campus. Thank you all for coming. Thank you so much. We would like to begin now. Friends and loved ones, we are gathered today in the memory of my mom, Barbara Ann Campus, so that together we may acknowledge and share both our joy in the gift that her life was to us and the pain that her passing brings. In sharing our emotions today, may we lessen the pain and remember more clearly the joy that she brought us. I am grateful that this room is filled with so many people that knew and cared for my mom. Seeing the tremendous love and support here for her and my family is humbling and inspiring. Thank you so much. It means so much, you all being here. Thank you. I'd like to begin with this passage. Do not stand in my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry, I am not there, I did not die. She would have loved that. I think she's here with us all right now. Barbara was born in Wichita, Kansas in 1939 to Audrey and Lester Shook, the oldest of 3 children. She took on a maternal role with her 2 younger brothers, Roger and Bill. Her father was quoted as saying she had to raise these boys. And that was directly from Bill. Bill wanted me to insert that. And it was true. And yeah, that was the truth. She graduated in 1957 from North High School. After high school, she worked for Southwest Bell in Wichita as a telephone operator. A few short years later, Barbara's sense of adventure brought her to the City of Angels in 1963, where she continued to work for Southwest Bell. In 1970, she welcomed her first son, Richard. In 1975, she welcomed her second child, yours truly. Thank you. As many of you know, we were raised here in the neighborhood of North Hollywood. In 1993, Barbara's aspirations landed her a dream job at the Walt Disney Studio store. For 26 incredible years, she was part of the magic and was the face of the studio store on the studio lot. She was also part of the infamous Breakfast Club with her coworkers. I'm sure you all remember that. I certainly do. Yes. Love the Breakfast Club. She loved it as well. Yeah, she loved it. It was her life. It was.
I was new at Disney, and when I got invited to the Breakfast Club, I felt so honored.
Right? It was like you knew you'd made it.
Yep.
Right? Her passion for her work was contagious, and she had inspired countless people with her kindness, enthusiasm, and dedication. She proudly retired from the Walt Disney Company in 2007. A quote from her favorite Winnie the Pooh: "How lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard." How lucky are we to have someone that makes it so hard to say goodbye? One of the greatest gifts my mother gave me is the love of animals. Barbara loved her cats, as we all know.
Yes.
Her babies, as she called them, brought her so much comfort and companionship. Her love for animals was unmatched, and her home was always filled with furry friends, each one receiving endless snuggles, treats, and affection. They were her life. Her heart was big enough to love them all, and they loved her right back. She had a special way with these creatures, starting in the late 80s with her first cat, Zanny. His collar's over there. We still have it. She still kept it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's dedication.
Yes.
That's commitment, which my mom was committed. And culminating her last cat with her 15th fur baby, Joey. Yeah, I think she had 15 total.
Wow.
Yeah. She gave a good home to some great animals. My mom was a warrior who fought for us, for our well-being and for our future. She did it all out of love and a deep desire to give us the best possible life. Our mother's sacrifices knew no bounds. She worked tirelessly to provide for us year after year. And she ensured that we had every opportunity to pursue our dreams. She was very good at recognizing what we wanted to do and very good at helping us along our path. She was a constant presence in our lives, always there to support us, guide us, and encourage us to be our best selves. I think she encouraged everybody just by her presence. She encouraged everybody to be their best selves. Despite her many struggles and challenges, she never gave up on us. And I'm sure sometimes she thought it was very hard to continue on, but she did. Like I said, she was committed. She was also kind and generous in many ways. She sponsored special needs children, and she would send them Disney gifts on birthdays and holidays year after year. They knew they could count on her, as Richard and I knew we could count on her as well. And she always followed through. She was never too busy to accompany anyone through the gates of Disneyland with her silver pass, as it brought her joy to provide a special day for everyone. She had a heart of gold and always opened up her home to those she loved, even though she didn't. She was a true matriarch, a leader. I'm just kidding, she loved everybody. She truly did. She truly did. She was a true matriarch, a leader, and a guiding light in our lives. And whether it was our yearly summer trips to McPherson, Kansas with the Shook family, yeah, aunts and uncles, cousins, brothers and sisters, all of them, she made sure we met all of them. She used to parade Richard and I around so proud and wanted us to meet everybody. We're so grateful for that we got to meet everybody. Absolutely. And our beloved grandparents, Lester and Audrey. Our adventures to Mammoth and Tuolumne with the Browns, Little League with the Girardins, pool parties with the Thompsons, Christmas and Thanksgiving with Uncle Roger and the gang.
Yes.
That was a constant.
If you keep testing me, you're gonna get it. I'm gonna be right beside you screaming. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm here to do, is test you. I'm just kidding. She always cultured a sense of family and community amongst friends and in-laws. It was her passion, bringing everybody together just like we're all together right now. We also remember the little things, the way she made us laugh when we needed it the most. the way she comforted us when we were hurt or scared. We remember the way she taught us to be strong, to persevere through adversity, and to never give up. She never gave up. We hold dear the memories we have of her. We remember the late nights she spent worrying about us. Now we're talking about Richard and I. The early mornings she rose to get us ready for school. The countless times she put our needs before her own. Let us take comfort in the knowledge that she lived a full and meaningful life. She may not have had an easy path, but she faced every challenge head on with courage and determination. And though she may be gone from our physical presence, her spirit will live on in our hearts forever. I'd like to share another passage with you. We look not at what can be seen, but we look at what cannot be seen. For what can be seen is temporary, but what cannot be seen is eternal. For we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. I believe she's eternal. I believe we all are. So as we say goodbye to this remarkable woman, we honor her memory by continuing to live the values she taught us. Courage, resilience, and love. We will carry her legacy forward, striving to make her proud and to make the world a better place as she would have wanted and as she has done with her life on this earth. Rest in peace, dear mother. You will be deeply missed, but your memory will live on in our hearts forever. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to share a tribute to Barbara. So if you turn your attentions to the monitors, and then afterwards, I'd like to invite people to come up and share any memories they had with her. We'd like to keep it to a couple minutes so that everybody gets a chance to share. A couple minutes per person so that everybody gets a chance to share any memories you have of her, anything you want to say. She's listening, and she'd love to hear from you. So I'd like you right now to turn your attention to the monitors, and we're going to play a short video for you. like to invite anybody up that would like to come. Tim?
First of all, you did your mother's proud. She would be very proud of you. So, when I first started at Disney, I went into the studio store where Barbara worked. And she was a very strong person, very forceful. I was scared of her until I was invited to go to the Breakfast Club. And I found out how kind and sweet she was. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Anybody else? Come on up.
Hi, good to see
Hey,
you.
hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You know, everything started, I believe, March 2006, when I met Barbara the first time, because of pizza, margarita pizza. Believe it or not, that was the start for me to Barbara, and 6 months, I believe 6 weeks later, I was working at the restaurant
Yes.
and the Disney store because of her. Where I am right now there at Disney, that's because of Barbara. You know, I remember every year we bring tamales to her, chips and salsa, and the margarita pizza until 6 months ago.
And huevos
That's
con
what,
cherry.
that's what I remember, yes. That's what I remember Barbara, you know? And I thank God she was part of my life.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Oh, please.
Hi, everybody. I am Liz Brown, have been a friend of Barbara's for 50 years, I think. And one of my fondest memories is when we used to take our children up to Mammoth every year. We'd go up for a week, we'd go fishing, we'd hike, we'd have a great time. But when dinner time came, we always gave the kids money to go to McDonald's or some other fast food place. And Barbara and I would go out for a fine dinner. That happened repeatedly. Occasionally we'd make a pot of spaghetti, but that was our vacation time, and we loved it, and I have great memories of all of those days.
Hello. Don't say anything, Tim. My name is Dan Musinich, and my partner Charles. We both worked at the sign shop started in the 90s, and over almost 30 years. Charles here 32 years, and we first met Barbara through Roger, who was obviously over our department, and that's how we got to know Barbara. Found out that, oh, you have a sister working in the store. How convenient. So, and we'd always send all of our friends up there to get that 30% discount that they gave you at the store, so we'd like, oh, just go talk to Barbara, she'll take care of you. And she was always, like that husband said, she was the face of that store.
Yes.
She was, she's who you sent anybody to. Go talk to Barbara and she'll take care of you, and she always did.
Yeah.
She was just a wonderful person. And then, after getting to know her, there at the studio, we started doing things like going to Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas dinners at Roger's house, as we all know. That's where I remember Barbara. Every morning at the Breakfast Club, we were all part of the Breakfast Club, which started like 3 or 4 people, then was 6, and then the next thing it was 8. And then there were some days where it was 12 people. We had a whole huge long table. And there's supposed to be a little 20-minute break, but I think a lot of times it wound up about 30 minutes, 40. We had some pretty long breakfasts up there. And it was always, very memorable. And Barbara was part of our life there. And then beyond that, though, going to the Thanksgiving, Christmas dinners, you know, we didn't go home a lot because Charles lived in Arkansas, and my parents weren't the most thrilled with me bringing home a boyfriend with our friends. So basically, we wound up staying here most of the time. And where did we go? Roger's house.
Yes.
For every Thanksgiving and every Christmas for years. I mean, it felt like probably, was it 20, 25 years? Easily. And, you know, I felt like you guys were family. I felt like Barbara was like the cool aunt that, you know, she was just really fun to be around. And she was always laughing, always smiling. And the other memory I have of Barbara that was touching for us is that we had a cat, and we like to travel, as some of you might remember. We like to take trips, and so we were going somewhere like once every month, it seemed like, and we had to have somebody watch our cat. And it was hard back then, you know, just to find somebody to feed the cat. And as we knew, Barbara loved animals, so we asked her if she would mind doing it. And she did, and she started doing it every time we'd go away. So it was so great for us knowing that somebody was there at the house hanging out with our cat and, you know, giving her the love that she needs. And Barbara was the perfect person to do it. And you know, and the best thing for us is because we actually had a friend do it for us once before Barbara. We went away for like a 4-day weekend. We came back and our cat was locked in the den without food or water, or couldn't get out. She was whining and moaning, and I'm like, you need to get somebody who loves animals to watch your pet. Yes. That doesn't lock them in the room and leave and not even realizing that the cat wasn't there. So anyway, but that's what, you know, Barbara was just like, she was a wonderful person. She touched our lives for years, and we love her, and we're gonna miss her. And I know she's looking down here right now. She's probably, I know she used to use a line all the time from that movie with Cher, was it Moonstruck? She'd look at you all sitting here so glum, she'd like, snap out of it! She used to say that all the time. Anyway, thank you.
So I used to call the sign shop the Vacation Club, because one of the three of them was always on vacation. All the time.
Oh, and also I hand painted those little ornaments that she bought every year for that child who, one of the children that she,
Oh, wow.
that had HIV, he got a blood transfusion, and she would come and bring this ornament, and we had to paint Jeff 93, 94, 95. She brought him for like 20 years, it felt like. I must have been. And you know, hand painting those little letters, and they got smaller and smaller, and like, Barbara, can you get bigger? Can you find some bigger? But no, I remember that she kept buying them after we were gone. She kept doing it for years and years. That's the kind of person she was. She was wonderful.
And you just charged it to Roger's overhead?
Absolutely.
To yours. Charles, I'm going to embarrass you right now. So when I first started at Disney, I was being introduced to everybody, and I had a gray shirt on. And he said, "Is that your personality?" Right? After Roger retired, I became his boss.
So, I don't speak in front of people often, but so there's one story that maybe not the most appropriate thing to say here, but so we get a call in the department one day, and this is whatever year Tarzan came out. And one of us picked up the phone, and it's Barbara, and she's like, you have to come up to the store because they're making us pull these Tarzan dolls off the shelf.
Oh.
And we're like, why? And she's like, well, just come up here and I'll show you why. So in the packaging, he was standing there posed like this, and his arm was in a clasp, and so he held the posture. And in the back of the box, there was a hole that you could push the button on the back of his body, and then his arm would come up and he'd go, ah! So pictured in the box pushing, ah! and little Miss Innocent Barbara calls us, and she's like, you've got to come up and buy these before we get them off the shelf.
I remember those.
But she will be missed. Oh, one other thing. Roger started a poker night at his house for at least a year. We would go. Well, I didn't have that. But Barbara and Roger were teaching us all how to play poker. She was ruthless. It was quarter bets, but she wanted to win. She's like, I'm going to teach you, but only so much. Anyway, thank you.
I'm Jeremy. I worked with Barbara at the studio store, and I was very fortunate. I got to spend the last couple of years spending time with Barbara as well, and taking her out and seeing a side of her that I never got to see in a workplace. And I was telling them earlier that that she was from Kansas, and we went to a store. This is last year, and the short story is, we found this most outrageous sunflower shirt because she's from the sunflower state, and then it proceeded to her singing the song, which I never thought I would ever hear Barbara sing a song, and she's clapping and singing. And so I guess I have to say that I was very fortunate that during the pandemic that I had Barbara, because she made me laugh every day, and even towards the end she still made me laugh every day. And I remember telling her that, you're my favorite Barbara, and she's like, is there another one? So thank you.
Hey, everybody. I am Chris Brown. I am Liz's son. I felt compelled to come up here because Barbara was a part of my life before I was even born. Her and my mom used to go play tennis when they were pregnant with both me and Richard. And that is my first introduction to what a huge sports fan that Barbara was. I don't think I've ever met a bigger Dodger fan in my life. In fact, in going over to their house early on as a kid, one of my earliest memories of her is sitting watching the Dodgers and actually keeping the box score play-by-play of Dodger games on television. And believe me, I've never seen that at any other mother's house going through life. But that continued on, not only all those Little League years with the big van where she was always driving everybody around. I always remember the big van and the trips to Mammoth and the big van. And your mom was a very cool lady. But I had another story. Every year we would have a block party for the 4th of July. And continuing along the sports theme, it would always come up, what's the batting order going to be? And I would always say, well, I don't really know where anybody should hit other than Barbara should definitely be batting cleanup. Because she was an excellent softball player, and she always scored a lot of runs for us. But yeah, she was a great lady. She was so cool. She was kind of like a cool aunt, as someone mentioned to me. And I'll always cherish those trips to Mammoth. Thanks.
Memories are of us trying to corral 5 boys. And we did a lot with those 5 boys. We went to the zoo. Every year we went trick-or-treating over in the Bob Hope neighborhood. So better things.
Yeah, good candy.
But, the sun rose and set on Richard and Jason, and then Nikki and the rest of the grandchildren, but it was Nikki. And we got to meet Nikki when she was just a wee tot, and we had a little doggy, and Nikki would chase the little doggy around, and his name was Tucker, but she'd go, here, Pucker, here, Pucker. I mean, Maddie, I'm sorry, Maddie. that's fine with us, we love to shop, we have to have lunch every year. Chrissy's birthday would come, and then my birthday would come, and we'd get to do that. And I can't remember what we did on her birthday, I know we celebrated her, but not with anything as glorious as Disneyland. And, I loved her so much, and, I miss her a lot. And I know I have a million stories in here that are just, that's all I have to say right now.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I'll say something, but I don't really want to.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Vina. I wasn't a Disney person, I was a CAA person, but I met Barbara through Roger over 35 years ago. And anywho, Barbara's always she was really always cool to me. Sweet, sweet, sweet lady. She came to my wedding, got divorced, so she's been, there. And anyway, I just have to say the last 3 days before Barbara passed, got a phone call, go see Barb. So we're gonna go see Barb. So we go see Barb, and she's there, and she looks thinner, and I just knew it. So she's in bed, and we're just, talking to her, and we know she could hear us, and, taking the swab and, wiping her mouth, and so she has some liquid, and we're just, so then Martin says, let's call Roger. So we FaceTime Roger, and Roger jacking her, hi Barb, and we know, she's not looking, but, I know she hears. And so we're talking back and forth, and then we start talking about hair. Like, Barb still had great hair. Martin used to always cut her hair all the time when we'd visit. I tried to do it once, and it was horrible. Anyway, so we're talking about hair, and we have the phone like this, and I said, God, Roger, you have great hair. And Barbara, you have great hair. You have barely any white in your hair. And Roger's like, I have the best hair. And out of nowhere, Barbara's like, no. And I was like, oh! And then she just closed her eyes, and I went back to swabbing. Like, did that just happen? Did she just I was like, damn you, Barbara. Scared me, you know what I mean? But she, to the very end, she had something to say to you, Roger. But anyway, we'll miss her, and I have to say, you did such a fabulous job, getting it together, moving, the clothes, the this, the that, everything, and, and taking it, cleaning and all that stuff. You did a great job, because been there, done that, and I just have to say kudos. And God bless everybody in this room.
What was the Mexican restaurant we used to go to?
I don't even, do I know you? I'm sorry.
Oops.
Barbara was like a mother. She was like a second mom to me. I've known her over 35 years. And I also grew up with Richard when I was with Roger. I'm gonna miss her dearly. I was with her until the end. But I must say, I do remember every time my birthday came up, I always had her make my favorite carrot cake. Because she made the best carrot cake.
Oh, yes.
I'm really gonna miss her dearly.
And I'm glad I was part of her life. Thank you.
If that's it, if nobody else wants to say anything, or anybody else would like to say something. It's okay. Okay, okay. Let's take 2 minutes of silence and remember Barbara and keep her in our hearts. Let's take 2 minutes right now. Rest in peace, Mom. I'm gonna miss you so much. Thank you for everything. I also want to thank my Uncle Roger. You helped make her life so good towards the end. You helped so much. Thank you so much. We couldn't have done it without you. okay. It's all right.
He changed my life too.
Yes, absolutely. As he did a lot of people's. Yeah. I wanna-
You have good times. That's it.
I want to thank Martin and Vina so much. Thank you for your help with everything. Thank you. It was instrumental in helping facilitate a lot of things. Thank you so much. Jeremy. Jeremy and Ruben were just staples in her life. I mean, even when I couldn't be there, you two, I mean, I have no words for you two. I have so much love for you two, for how much you did. Thank you so much. And everyone else. Everybody else, she loved all of you. And she's always going to be with you. And thank you all for coming out today. Thank you. And Lori, let's thank Lori too for putting together this wonderful video. These wonderful boards, Lori made these. Thank you so much, Lori. Yeah, thank you. And if I've forgotten anybody, you might get a phone call from me. I'm just kidding. But thank you all. This has been such a blessing to share this all with you and to feel all this love come into this room today and to be able to grieve with you. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.